Very much, Sandra. It's a pleasure to be here. So my name is Steve Rycroft. I work in the Technology Enhanced Learning Department in the Open University, and I'm the head of Learning and Teaching Environments. And my colleague here.
Hi, I'm Louise Olney. I work alongside Steve.
Sorry, Louise, we cannot hear you.
Is that better?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay, so I'm Louise Olney. I'm head of online student experience at the Open University. I work very closely alongside Steve in the Technology Enhanced Learning department, and I manage the user experience of our core learning systems. So mainly the VLE, online rooms, that kind of thing. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, so Sandra, should I just kick off with our presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay, brilliant. Well, as I say, a pleasure to be here from sunny Milton Keynes in England. It's actually a very gloomy June morning, so I think we'd rather be in Croatia, to be honest. I believe a colleague of ours gave a talk at your conference a couple.
Yes, we had, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, your colleague talking about Moodle quizzes.
So I was giving a little bit of context on the Open University, how we are the biggest by student population, biggest university in the UK. We have actually about 300 qualifications we can award, out of that about 130 degrees, made up of about 450 different courses, modules we call them. And we have a campus, that's where we are right now, in the middle of the UK. So let me just move on nicely. And again, a bit more context. What's a typical degree course at the OU? You can do a 30 or 60 credit course where it's 360 credits gets you a degree, and they run, so it's 6 or 9 months or so. Most of our students are part-time, so we're very big in the part-time sector. So flexibility of study options is very important to us. Students are assigned with tutors in groups of between 15 and 20 or so. And the core of the experience is online, although there are face-to-face tutorials. We send some books out to augment the experience, and sometimes there are weekend day schools, these kind of things. A significant portion of our students are registered disabled, so flexibility and accessibility are very important to us. One of the reasons we moved towards using Moodle, actually. Okay, so a bit more context of the department that Louise and I work in. The OU, I think, has been at the forefront of using technology to deliver learning since our foundation. We started with TV and radio broadcasting, and moved into kind of VHS, audio tapes, and now we're largely online. But we haven't used the language technology enhanced learning specifically until very recently, maybe 18 months ago or something. We brought together a bunch of experts, started a new department called TEL, and this is what we class as TEL. So my team leads the technology side of it, my learning systems team. Louise's team deals with the user experience side, and she'll be talking a bit more about that shortly. We also have a digital innovation team looking at things more on the future horizon, disruption, and interesting little experiments. And also a learning design team, so all about the application of technology and working closely with academics. So backing all of that up is evidence. We don't generally get out of bed without a reason to do that, and we're quite big on user research, student research, even research on non-students, so prospective students, to see what kind of experience and what kind of optimized learning is good for them. Moving on, so a little bit about my team. My team of about 10 or so staff members responsible for the maintenance and enhancement of our learning environments. So Moodle is at the core of that, but there are other non-Moodle features that we integrate with, and different components. So it's quite a large technical estate that we manage, and we work very closely with Louise's team, which I'll give you a quick overview of now. Louise's team lead on learning UX. It's a relatively recent discipline, especially in higher education environment, which Louise's team has really been pushing the boundaries on over the last couple of years, and has been responsible for a new design, a new digital experience here, which she will talk about shortly. And it's all about bringing the student voice into the platforms that we develop and the systems that we run. So it's very important stuff. Okay, let's drill down. We are at a Moodle conference after all. A little bit more on Moodle at the OU. We work very closely with IT, so that's unusual. Some universities, all of the platform maintenance comes out of the IT function, whereas we've got this specific technology enhanced learning unit, and we work very closely with our partners in IT. And so we've got teams of product managers and user UX researchers in our team, and we work very closely with the development teams in IT. Sometimes interesting discussions to be had there, but on the whole, we get along very well, and we work closely, Agile Scrum methodology, and we have a pipeline of activities, a 3-year roadmap, which could include bringing in existing Moodle modules or looking to develop things ourselves. And we have very strong governance around that, about setting the direction of where we want to go to. Okay, so a little bit more context on Moodle at the OU. We are very proudly a Moodle university. And as I mentioned, we have some elements that aren't Moodle, of course. Every couple of years, we reevaluate whether Moodle is the right platform for us, and it remains in our digital strategy for the coming future. We integrate other elements such as Adobe Connect. We're actually transitioning at the moment between Blackboard Collaborate onto Adobe Connect, which is quite a pleasure to use it here because I do prefer it. We have other elements like in-house XML-driven production systems and various other non-Moodle things. But on the whole, we're a Moodle university, and very proudly so. A little bit of stats background. We've been using, as Sandra introduced us, we've been using Moodle since 2006, so that's getting on for 11 years. And we've gone on quite a journey in that time. We have about 180,000 users of the VLE every year, about 40,000 a day. So, which is great responsibility. If we do have a technical blip, all eyes are on myself and Louise. So it's sometimes a thankless task if we have a blip and we have to do some communications to our 40,000 students on any day. Most of our big modules start in October, following a kind of traditional university model. So we kind of have peak usage starting in October. But we have different presentations of modules throughout the year as well. Interestingly, forums remains our most popular collaborative tool. It's quite an old technology now, I think everyone would admit. But we found if we use it right, you make sure you seed forums with activities embedded, have moderation there. They really work well. Asynchronous communication works well with our online students. Quiz is something we're very proud of as well. We've done a lot of work on Moodle Quiz. Last year we had 6 million questions attempted at the OU, which is quite a fun stat. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'm going to talk briefly about how we've evolved our use of Moodle. So back in 2006, we started out, it looked very Moodle-ish, our websites. And we kind of tweaked them and added new features and functionality along the way every couple of years, ongoing roadmap of development, bringing in new tools. With the end result of, we start to get a bit cluttered. And we started to think about, in about 2015, we started to think about UX, the concept of that, comparing ourselves to other digital content providers in the commercial world, for instance. But you'll see, back in 2006-07, we were coming from a largely print-driven learning pedagogic methodology. So some of our first Moodle sites were largely web pages full of PDFs, for instance, which was good at the time, served the purpose for delivering online, but we definitely wanted to move to a more immersive experience for our students. And that's kind of in line with the philosophy of Moodle, the social constructivism, having a bit of content and a bit of discussion together. That's where we wanted to move to. So let's just continue on. Yeah. So some key milestones in that period. Around 2010, 11, 12, 2011, I think we moved to Moodle 2. We reevaluated our use of Moodle, and that was a big step. people involved will remember it was quite a significant change. That was a large change project around the university. We decided to stick with Moodle for another few years. At that point, we took the opportunity to enhance the design a little bit, offered a little bit of personalization features for our modules, and actually we started taking our first steps into a mobile theme, which was managed separately, but certain elements of the Moodle worked on mobiles via the theme. Let me just skip on here. And a little bit more background. It's not just the VLE at the OU. We run a number of Moodle platforms. For our core student experience, we have module websites. We have a qualification platform, so acts as a parent of a number of module sites for every student who signs up for a qualification. We have various staff-only platforms for experimenting and playing about. And we have a library area and student guidance and support. That's a different Moodle platform. We also have our OpenLearn platforms, OpenLearn and OpenLearn Create, which is more of a Moodle Drupal hybrid, but kind of fulfills our mission in terms of open and free content for students who don't want to do a degree, for instance. We have the Open Science Lab, which offers free digital science experiments around the world. And also notably, we've got what we call a prison VLE. We've got a walled garden Moodle VLE for students in secure environments, which has been quite successful recently. Another platform we've got is an experiment with online exams. Okay, so that's a quick whistle-stop tour, a bit of background about Moodle at the OU. Now we're going to move to the more interesting bit. I'm going to pass over to Louise, and she's going to talk about our steps into user experience and our new VLE design.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I'm just going to move this over a bit because the mic's on this side, so you can let me know if you can. Okay, so Steve talked a little bit about how we use Moodle at the Open University, and I'm going to concentrate on some changes that we've made in the last couple of years and how we've taken a user-centered design approach to ensure that we put students first in our digital learning, and how we transformed our module websites over the last 2 years. So this slide shows an example, really, of what our modules looks like in 2015, which was on one of Steve's previous slides. And from that year, we ran a programme of work that really reviewed and assessed our current learning systems and whether they had the capability to deliver what we needed them to for the next 5 to 10 years. One of the main outcomes of that review was that we really needed to look at our user experience and update them to meet user expectations. So technically, they offered a lot of functionality and choice for how module teams would use them. But with on-screen user expectations and digital literacy skills becoming increasingly much more sophisticated with our students, we needed a design that was much more engaging and had much more features that students really began to expect. So this slide here just shows a few of the outcomes of our student feedback of what they expected a learning experience to be. And it was really started to be very much influenced by the emergence of MOOCs and how they expected their content to be in bite-sized pieces. They expected interactivity, not just PDFs on a page. They expected engaging online activities, and they really, with one of the largest expectations, was that they could use it on any mobile device, so however they wanted to and where they wanted to. So we took a really evidence-based approach to making some changes, and all the changes that we've made that I'll show you are all based on feedback and testing, and where our students were really central to the whole process. So this is a diagram that illustrates a user-centered iterative design process that we created to do this. So it's based on learner experience or LX-based design principles, and it moves from discovery phase into a design phase. Next is the develop and then release. But as you can see, it doesn't stop, it's continual. So at any one time, we'll be doing any of these activities and be feeding into a cyclical process. And it really helps us to make changes really, really quickly. And we reduce the risk by only acting upon evidence. So the new design was developed in response to direct student feedback, and we also gathered evidence from an in-depth independent technical and comparative review and internal stakeholder reviews as well, because it's not just our students that are using the VLE, it's also our staff. So we use an external user experience consultancy as well to ensure that we had a real market or a market or industry-led approach to the design and the user expectations of an on-screen experience. And this slide really summarises the outcomes of that. So we had some really great features already in the VLE, which was the study planner, which is like the core spine of our module website, and it gives the study on a week-by-week basis, and also completion ticks. So students are able to complete the activities that they had done within that module website. But there were issues that were identified. So we had quite a dispersed navigation. It was slightly confused because we'd added so many features in, perhaps it wasn't where we should have started. The design was also used inconsistently across modules. So students that were now signing up for a qualification were having quite a different experience in one module website to the next one. And we had a lot of feedback on that one. And also we had a bit of a lack of clear visual indicators, especially around what was supplementary material and perhaps students didn't have to do, and other information that was absolutely necessary. So we had three recommendations that we needed to address. One was to create a clear main navigation structure. We needed single consistent templates across modules so that students were getting a nice consistent experience throughout their qualification. And we needed to focus on key study activities as well, so that users could be able to reflect on their learning experience as well as assessment. So we used an iterative design process in order to produce our new design. And through this process, we managed to produce a new design that addressed all of the issues, and we were able to start sizing and then developing that new design through agile software development process. So this really gives an illustration of some of the different designs that we came up with, and we were able to identify which parts worked and which parts needed some work as well. Excuse me. So here we have an example of one of our new module websites. As you can see, the study planner really does take forefront on the home page. We also have access to your tutor, news, and one of the other features that we've really enhanced is the study completion ticks. So you'll be able to see the green ticks alongside each activity, and students will be able to click complete that themselves. And then there's an overall progress bar at the top, which shows a student how far they are along within their learning, and that's an incredibly popular feature. When you click through to an item from the study planner, you then go through to your content, and this is all displayed very clearly now with embedded activities and all of the content within that week. So along the top, you can see the navigation. It allows you to see every item that is within that week from your study planner. Along the top as well, you can see that we've got clear navigation in categories, really, and these were all student focused. So the first one was really assessment. That was one of the core ones for our students, in that what they wanted to know as soon as they got into their module website was, when are my exams? When do I have to make, arrangements within my life to be available for those dates? And they wanted those all in one place, so we've created that for them. They also get their scores through here, and they can access any of their TMAs at any time. The other sections is forums, so collaborative activities. It's where students can create a community with each other within their online environment and collaborate with their peers and tutors. Next is resources. So this is where students will find all of their resources, so anything that's within the study planner, or indeed anything additional that they might have. And bearing down into this area, students have access to downloads, so that they have the ability now to download content in the format of their choice, and they can study offline. We really designed this mobile first. So it's a fully responsive design, and students can access anything on their mobile device that they can do on their desktop. And the mobile learning was such a strong requirement from our students, and it really helped us to create a very clean and clear navigational structure when you start designing mobile first. And this enables our students to study anywhere and anytime. So this slide shows a quick view of really the before and after, and how we've been successful in transforming our online student experience. It's delivered a new engaging module website for our students, and it's designed specifically to support them with their on-screen learning. They have engaging and personalised features, such as the progress tracking, accessibility on all mobile devices, and multiple content downloads. And the expectations of our students are so high, but we will continue to develop and iterate using our user-centred design approach. This is just a slide that shows some of the examples of the really positive student feedback that we've had from the new design. Because Steve showed you how many modules we actually present, transforming all of our modules at the same time was not possible. So there has been a year overlap of where some students are on the old design and some are on the new one. And that's been really interesting to be able to target those students and ask them to compare the two for us. And we've actually run an assessment of our new design, and it's come out well above industry average, whereas our old design was well below average. So now it's accessible, it's mobile, and it will aid our students in success and satisfaction. So as Steve said earlier, we are obviously always looking forward to what we're doing next. So what is next for Moodle at the OU? We'll take a quick look. So for my team, it's really with continuous enhancements. So we will fully roll out the new VLE design across all our modules. We will use the new design across all areas of the student journey. So some of our areas of the university don't have the same style as you've just seen in our module websites, but we will start applying that so that there's a consistent experience even outside of their learning and teaching. And really promote UX design as a key university capability. And as I've already demonstrated, we will use that user-centered design iterative approach to make sure the design changes are continual. I'm going to pass back to Steve now so that he can talk about some of what's next for his team. Okay.
Hello again. Okay, so just still wrapping up. For my team, some of the future enhancements we're looking at a little bit less interesting on the design side, but facing some of the integration issues. We're in the process of moving from Blackboard Collaborate to Adobe Connect, and we're exploring some of the improved analytics features we can get through that, and porting them out back to Moodle and running reports so we can have better data there as well as a better experience. We're playing with Office 365 integration at the moment, so having embedded opportunities for students to write their own content embedded in Moodle and export it back to OneDrive and these kind of things. We've got a few innovation projects going on. One of the biggest ones is we call Open Create, which is a new rapid visual authoring tool, drag and drop, piecing together a digital learning experience. So a lot of work going on that at the moment, and hopefully it'll map to our new agile module production strategies. On top of that, we've got continued focus on technical debt. We've been a rather technical university for many years, and with that, we build up a lot of technical debt. So our student information system, for example, is very old now. It's kind of creaking at the seams. So we've got some projects around to there's a data load method there for importing student data into Moodle. We're going to turn that into a web service-driven process. And fingers crossed, we're going to change that student information system as well in the near future. We're looking at better testing environments for more seamless release management, automated releases, and various other kind of back-end things that are kind of interesting to the technical side. So just to conclude, we hope we've convinced you that moving to UX design, user-centered design in a student context is not a one-off. We've created a new design experience. Clearly, we're not going to just sit there for the next 5 years and realize, oh, in 5 years' time it's a bit cluttered again. We're actively every 6 months or so running system usability scores. We're going to make improvements on the fly. But we're going to be quite rigorous on not overloading that student experience. And in parallel with that, we're going to face up to some of the technical debt issues we've got. So there's a lot of work to do in the future, and we've got good teams to do it. So I think we'll finish there and open up to questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you.